2, 3, and we are live. Let me just play my favorite song of all time. New intro song. Epic. By the way, this song here, for everybody listening, is from the YouTube channel Primal Edge Health, and I know a lot of his subscribers, or some of his subscribers, actually subscribe to my channel, so please tell him that I'm using his intro song. I want to get banned. Good stuff.
Nice, man. Nice.
Good stuff. So today I have 2 special guests. First of all, in like 10 minutes, I will have Kane Sumabat here, aka Timbahwolf, who is basically a legend in the fitness industry. I guess he uploaded his first video in 2007. But I also decided to have my bro, one of my best friends here, because he actually also knows Timbahwolf from social media. And people keep asking me on Instagram and also on YouTube, like how I choose my friends and my social circle. And what I really admire, or what I really appreciate in people, is when people have like a growth mindset, when they want to challenge themselves. And I know that Philip was never on a podcast so far. So I was like, bro, let's challenge you a little bit and let's invite you to the podcast and let's have some fun. So today I will have a co-host, and his name is Philip. Thank you so much for being here, bro.
Thank you for the introduction, Charles. I'm actually kind of nervous. It's my first time on a podcast like this.
Nice.
But I'm also really excited to meet Timbahwolf.
Nice.
And also really excited for our upcoming trip.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. So from where do you know each other actually?
From Tinder.
I loved it. I wanted that answer, dude. Love it. Yeah, Tinder. And you also, fun now, jokes aside, we had a personal development group like 5 years ago. They've met each other from there, but this was the answer I expected. Totally.
It's the basic answer, like all the time people asking us.
Yeah.
Like the answer is Tinder.
So by the way, for the listeners, perhaps you guys know Philip from before, because this week we will actually be traveling to Frank Yang. Some of you may know him, and you may see us in Frank's videos or Instagram stories. And me and Philip, we met Frank back in LA. So this will be also really good. So perhaps you will see him back on another YouTube channel, or you have seen him before.
Amazing. I just realized, Charles, I can see a live stream now, and I wonder where the chat box is. Can you tell me?
Perhaps people are not here. People need some time to join.
Okay. It's not. Oh, I can see myself. That's so.
Yeah.
So
perhaps
cool.
they haven't joined yet. Sometimes there are a lot of people here. Sometimes they don't know the guests so good. So sometimes they join like half an hour in or something.
Okay.
Because the thing is, I tend to have some guests here that nobody really knows, and sometimes they don't join even when they don't know the guest, but they see it afterwards. Cool. So where do you know Timbahwolf actually? I'm curious.
That was from Frank Yang's story. I think I saw one of Frank's stories where they were hanging out together and smoking weed, and I think they were talking about kind of trippy things, and I saw this dude and I checked out his Instagram. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know, like over. Do you know his actual age? Over 50 something, and he's ripped as fuck. And that's like, whoa,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he got famous because he uploaded a video of his pull-ups in 2007, and YouTube was not so popular back then, but the video got like kind of viral, and then people realized, okay, this guy is like over 40. I guess even in 2007 he was like 40 or something. And then he got on Instagram and on the bodybuilding forums, on the old bodybuilding forums, and he got famous by basically being a little bit older and by doing like these calisthenics move, like front lever, back lever, dragon flags. And he also sometimes does like these 100 pull-up challenges or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So he got pretty famous by doing that. And I really wanted to have him on the podcast because I have like almost a personality disorder. Like when I see someone on social media and I like the guy, I need to talk to them. Like, I cannot hold myself back. I'm like, hey, dude, let's do a podcast, or let's have a chat, And I guess he can share a lot of good stuff, especially when it comes to working out at an older age, because we two are like in our 20s. A lot of my listeners are in their 20s. And when you're in the 20s, you feel like unbreakable. You go into the gym, you wreck everything apart. You take pre-workout boosters, you're almost never injured. And I guess to have a guy on here that is still ripped in his 40s and 50s will be from value for a lot of listeners.
That's amazing. I thought you said like around 100 pull-ups. I think it was way more. I think it was like one time I saw a picture of him on Instagram, and it was I think it was over 2,000 push-ups, pull-ups.
2,000?
Oh yeah, I just checked it, and there was like it's a post from the 20th of May,
okay,
and it's like 217 pull-ups.
Jeez.
And his hands are like open and bloody, and it's not like ours, only like a little bit.
yeah, I guess I saw that with the hands. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. I need to ask him about that, because it's just like super intriguing. Like, people that are like his age, 40 or 50s, they have a lot of excuses regarding their age. Like, yeah, I'm too old to do this. It's too late for me. These young folks, but he's like just wrecking everything apart. I guess he even trains with his nephews or something. They're all like in the 20s or 17, 18, and you see half of his family working out with him. Like, it's so good.
That's amazing. Now I just could open the chat, man. That's
good.
That's amazing.
Good. I guess
so if
people
somebody is listening, you can also ask questions there.
Yeah, you can ask us questions. Yeah, you can ask Philip questions like how I am in real life.
You can ask question to me about everything. Maybe I will answer them.
Okay, is Charles really that weird, or is he just playing a character on YouTube? Is he fake?
How is he in real life?
Yeah,
to hang out with Charles.
Yeah, maybe like answer that. I'm really curious. Like, if I'm about to watch a video of me, am I like kind of authentic, or am I perhaps a little bit over the top in my videos? I would really like know what you think. What your perception is.
For me, you're kind of authentic, I think, because for me it's like the same if I talk to you in person, or if I talk to you in a video.
Oh, interesting.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign, yeah. But to be honest, I always play a little bit of a character when the camera is rolling. I mean, we all do that. Like, I guess Frank even said that in one of his videos. Like, we even play a character in virtual reality, and then in real life we play another character, and then on Instagram we play a little bit of another character. Like, and we're also regarding with who we talk. So this whole idea of just be yourself, or is this person authentic? That's such a vague term sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, Charles.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm pumped for today's podcast. What would we talk about before we start? Do you have some other ideas? I actually didn't write everything down before he comes. So I'm kind of just rolling with the flow right now. Or what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I really wonder. We can talk a little bit about him, or about questions we have about him.
Good.
The main thing is I really wonder about how he can keep this, or how he can be that trained, that ripped, that shape with this age, man. This is crazy.
To be honest, I believe it's actually not that difficult if you have the habits down. I guess it's not that difficult. Just stick to it. Something I'm really looking forward for myself. Like, when I'm that age, I want to see if I maintain just the habits I have right now, if I can even look better than right now. You know what I mean? So I guess it's perhaps not even that difficult. We just don't see a lot of older guys training like that or looking like that.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, because your muscles also kind of mature. So then when you are lean, you don't lose as much muscle mass. You know what I mean? So I guess social media is just not there long enough to see like all the guys working out like that, especially that are natural. If you take steroids, like, it's a whole other story. But especially when you're natural, I guess if you maintain your good habits, and if you train like 20 years more, you can still improve. Perhaps the bodybuilder Jeff Alberts. Jeff Alberts from the 3DMJ Muscle Journey. He's like 48 or 47, and he's still like, I would argue he is in his best shape of his life at like 47. So the best bodybuilders, especially natural bodybuilders, are all between 40 to 48. Even the enhanced ones like Mr. Olympia Sean Roden is like 45 or something.
And do you think that's all natty?
Sean Roden? Sean Roden?
Yeah, all of them.
like
in the best form with at this age.
At 40, I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you're like 40 and 45 because you have like 20 more years to train. I guess there is a moment when your body is just deteriorating and you cannot keep up your form. I mean, you see that with Kane. I will also ask him, like in the last 2 years, he didn't make any progress. He even decreased a little bit in his physique. But I guess till this point comes, you can still make progress till like 40 to 45 to 48, depending on your genetics. Because there are some bodybuilders, especially natural bodybuilders, that say you can actually never reach your natural potential because progress slows down so much that you would need to train till you're like 70 or 80 to basically reach your natural potential. But as soon as you're like 50 or something, you start to deteriorate, so nobody actually can reach his full natural potential. But I believe if you train for 20 years naturally, you will look your best in your 40s for sure. It's like if you do it and right, and if you have the right habits. Perhaps you never get into like competition physique form, like with like 5 or 6% body fat, but you can still reach, I guess, your best level of physique at like 10 or 15% body fat for sure, I would believe.
Okay, well,
that's
great, man. I love your knowledge, man. Oh wow.
Nice. Watching some YouTube videos.
Hey, how are you? Sorry,
I'm good.
Had difficulty. I forgot my password.
No worries, no worries. It's just like 4 minutes after 8 p.m. here in Switzerland, so that's no problem. So before we start, actually, I have a funny story for you because me and Philip, we will meet one of your friends. So basically, we have a common friend that we will visit this week. But I need to let you guess. He did a video with you, like I guess, like 2 or 3 years ago, and he lives in Taiwan.
Frank?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow. I will send him that podcast. So do you have something to tell him?
Yeah. With Frank, I try not to smoke up when I'm around him. He makes me paranoid. Seriously, I mean, yeah, we hung out a couple times and worked out a couple times. He's in Germany?
No, we go to Taiwan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. One moment.
No worries.
Yeah. Sorry, just gotta get ready.
No worries. Love it. I love it. Yeah, to be honest with Frank, he's a really nice guy, a really funny guy, but sometimes he has these moments where he has these creative like outbursts, and then he does his thing, whatever he does, and I'm just beside him like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, I'm getting almost uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was like, I forgot what I was smoking at the time, and for a while, I thought it was the strain that was making me paranoid. But when I tried different strains, every time I was around Frank, I got paranoid. So it was Frank.
I agree. we will be in his home country, so I guess we'll have the full Frank Yang experience. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, say hi to him. I didn't know he was back in Taiwan. I thought he was still in the States.
Yeah, he was in Maryland, then in LA, then in Maryland again. So I don't know what he's up to, but I will ask him anyway.
When are you going?
On Thursday.
Oh wow! Awesome.
Yeah. I will let him know. I will let him know for sure.
Yeah, give him my regards.
Awesome. So I guess Philip, you have the first question for. First of all, sorry for mentioning. Thanks for your time, by the way. I really appreciate it. Because it's interesting. I guess I got to know you back in like 2011 or 2012, and there was this legend going on that there is like this this 40 or 45-year-old guy doing like 100 pull-ups at a time or even more, and like beating all the younger guys and just being in amazing shape. And I was in a bodybuilding forum back then, and then I started to like see some YouTube video of yours, and I just got I got to know you like in the last 4, 6, or even 7 years. But I know you uploaded your first video in 2007, right?
Yeah. Actually, the first video I uploaded, I don't know if it's still up or if I deleted it or if it's private. It was me trying to do an Olympic snatch. I was on a forum called Off Topic, and one of the guys there, he competed in the Olympic lifts, and I wanted his opinion, like I wanted his help on improving my Olympic snatch, because it was horrible, the form. That's why I probably deleted it, or it might still be up there. And that's why I actually got on YouTube.
Yeah, it's interesting. To be honest, I also uploaded my first video on YouTube in 2012, also for a form video of my dragon flags, and it also got like 1,000 views. You know, the bar was so low, the light was so bad.
Oh, can you still do them?
To be honest, right now not. I never tried them. I didn't try them again, but I want to get back to it, because I believe like dragon flags, especially, they have like the perfect sweet spot. Like they look great when you do them. You can basically show off in the gym, and they train your abs like in an amazing way. So I want to get back to them, of course. Yeah.
Okay. But wait, dragon flag is on the pole, or which one's the Bruce Lee one?
I guess it was the Bruce Lee one, on the bench. You hold on the bench.
Yeah. That's not the same thing, is it?
I guess it is. It is dragon flags.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of the other one. Not dragon flag, just the flag.
Oh no, not yet.
Yeah. Okay. The dragon flags I can do. I've always been able to do for the most part, but the flag, it's hit or miss for me. And now, because of my lower back issues, I'm a little cautious about it.
I'm curious about your opinion, because I believe not everyone can do the human flag. A lot of people have genetic limitations for it, I believe.
I have no idea. Like I know it was really humbling one time. There was this bodybuilder I met at a gym, and he was asking me about how to do the flag, and I was able to teach it to him in like 15 minutes, and then he could do it better than me right away. It's still difficult for me, so it's hit or miss.
But that's a good inspiration. I never thought of to do the human flag, or to try them. It's a good inspiration right here. So Philip,
I actually also relearned the human flag kind of fast, because I did it when I was like really young, when I did the breakdance, and now I haven't done it for like, I don't know, maybe 10 years. And I was at the gym, and some dude did it. I was like asking him, oh yeah, can I also try? And it took like I could do it for some seconds still. So it's
whenever someone shows me up on the flag, I just say it's because their penis is obviously smaller than mine, so they have less of a counterweight.
I think that's it.
And I'm Asian, so
must be that totally.
Fuck my life.
Yeah, I'm curious. Where you from?
Philippines.
Philippines. Right on. Because and your name is Sumabat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking.
Apparently, it's Ilocano. That's one of the provinces from the Philippines.
Right.
My father's Ilocano.
Right on. So
which I have no idea. Like, I'm pretty ignorant about the Philippines because I came to Canada when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now you live in Toronto, right?
Yes.
I saw the fitness industry scene is pretty big right now in Toronto, right? You got like Omar Isov, you got you. Is Jeff Nippert from Canada or something?
He's from Canada, but he's from BC.
Right.
He lives in he lives in BC right now.
Right.
But he was saying that he might consider moving to Toronto.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I've never been there, but I've heard a lot of good stuff. It's like the biggest city in Canada, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. So, Philip, I guess you have the first question for Kane.
Yeah, I think it's a question you get all the time, man. But what's your secret?
I'll show you my secret.
Oh, dude.
Actually, I stopped smoking from 2001 till 2011, and then one of my personal training clients, she stole an edible cookie from her brother and gave it to me, and after that, yeah, got me back on.
That's a secret. The one cookie in 2011.
Crazy.
Good stuff. But yeah, what I was asking myself before that podcast was also like, because you train till you're 12, right? You're training.
I started training when I was 12. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your inspiration? Like the old Arnold movies, Bruce Lee, or who?
I loved Enter the Dragon. I love Pumping Iron, but that was probably later on. My father brought, one of those plastic and concrete barbell sets for my oldest brother, but he never did. I did, and yeah, and then I just took a liking to it. And my father, like, for the longest time, he always I see him beginning every day with a calisthenics routine. Like that includes like 50 pull-ups or whatever, right? So push-ups, not pull-ups. But he was the one he built 2 pull-up bars, one in the garage and one in the basement, and he told me and my brother that, you should always be able to do these. And yeah, so I guess I took it to heart.
And how did you stick to it for so long? It just became something of like part of your personality, or
What do you mean?
like how were you able to stick to working out like for like almost 40 years?
Because I have nothing else to offer. No money, a small penis. Yeah, so the whole thing is by having nothing else to offer, you learn to focus now. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. And then, when I started personal training, then that has, you want to walk the walk.
Yeah.
You say, right? But yeah, actually the personal training aspect, because you became more
committed.
You were motivated to continue training because you want, like I said, for the image, to sell yourself. It did take a bit away from it, you know what I mean? Because you're no longer doing it for itself.
So what do you mean if it took away from it? Like the motivation went away, or the enjoyment?
It wasn't as enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
For a bit, but then, and then found different things to, yeah.
Yeah. And when did you decide to come on social media?
What do you mean? Explain that.
Or when and why did you decide then to come on social media? Like on Instagram and YouTube.
YouTube. I was just doing that for fun. And with Instagram, yeah, same thing. I mean, it was one of my the photographer for Controlled Labs. He did a photo shoot with me in 2009. He became a friend, and he's the one who introduced me to Instagram.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I never, I never thought like it would be part of my career. So,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
I mean, through Instagram, that's where I get probably at least 80% of my online clients.
yeah, yeah. So are you a full-time online coach right now, or do you still coach personal training?
I don't personal train anymore, and I don't know, like even the online training. I'm a full-time, part-time online trainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't spend that much time.
yeah, yeah. So Philip, do you have a question also?
Yeah, one of my female friends was asking if you have a girlfriend.
Yes, yeah, I do.
You do have a
Yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah. It's just like I'm willing to share a lot of the aspects of my life, like depression,
Mm-hmm.
the drugs.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so that's the one thing I actually, yeah. But I do have a girlfriend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah. So is it
she will be destroyed. No, it's
is it the one that comes to Frank Yang's place?
The what?
His girlfriend, like his female friend. Is it the one that comes to Frank Yang's
no,
place?
no. It's no. It's actually it's a girl. I showed her the profile of him. I just like, damn, I would smash.
Oh, dude.
So I was like,
Oh, dude.
yeah, I will ask him if his
Yeah, yeah. But I
Oh,
told. Sorry.
you guys can't admit if you smoke, can you?
What do you mean?
Can you admit or not that you smoke, because it's illegal there, right?
You mean in our country?
it's illegal in our country. Yes, it's
Okay.
illegal to smoke. Yeah.
All right. Never mind.
Of course, I never smoke. Of course, dude. So I guess I had a question regarding. I guess almost everyone will ask you that. Like, what's your overall training and nutrition philosophy?
Well, since 2005, I started doing flexible dieting, or if it fits your macros. So all I care about is hitting certain numbers, my calories, regardless of the source. Whether back in 2005, uh, for a 6-week period, I tried cutting on Kentucky Fried Chicken and Burger King, and it worked. And yeah, after that, just been doing kind of approach for almost 15 years.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to hear that because I mean, if everyone I talk to, if they train like for at least 10 years, they all come to the same conclusion. Like, if it fits your macros, is the way to go.
Yeah, and I mean, couple years ago, someone asked me, but how do you know if you ate, a lot cleaner, you would have had better results? But he has a point, except the whole thing about if it fits your macros is the adherence.
Yes.
I don't think I would have been as consistent. So
Yes. That's also one of my biggest arguments. Also train my clients. I tell them the best diet is not the cleanest diet; it's the best diet you can follow. Like, if it means that you need to eat Nutella every day to follow your diet, do
yeah,
it, because perhaps then after 2 months you quit everything, you gain weight, you never train again, and you are just unhealthy. So
yeah, exactly. Right. So
you talked about numbers. What are your numbers that you hit, like regarding protein and fat, for example?
for a while, I actually lowered my protein for a while, but now, after talking to Jeff Nippert when we did a video together, I'm bumping it up again. And right now, It's just 160. All I actually focus since for the last maybe since 2014, all I focus on is calories and protein.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm at 2,400 calories and 160 grams protein.
So 1 gram per pound.
Yeah, well, about there almost. Yeah.
Okay. And how low was your protein when you tried that low protein approach?
It wasn't maybe that 135.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, because there was it was probably from Jeff's video too. Are you familiar with Menno Hesselman?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bayesian bodybuilding. He was uh, debating Eric Helms on how much protein, and he was saying 1.8 grams per kilogram of lean mass, I think. So yeah, so that's when I was experimenting with 185 too.
Oh, that's interesting you mentioned him, because I went through his personal trainer course, and I also read that debate, and even says 1.6 grams per kg could be beneficial for people that cannot adhere to more protein. He goes pretty low, but funny enough, in real life, he doesn't follow his own advice. Like, he goes actually higher. Like, yeah. But for me,
even, are you familiar with Alan Aragon?
also, yeah.
Even him and Brad Schoenfeld, I think they said, you don't have to have a shake like within 1 hour after your workout, the whole anabolic window. But then, quite a number of them, they'll still have that shake only because, it doesn't hurt.
Yes.
Yes. It just guarantees that you still have your shake, or your enough protein, I mean.
Exactly. It's one of these little things that doesn't require a lot of willpower to do, but it could have potential benefits. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's a low cost kind of thing.
Exactly. Do you do other stuff like that still? Like, because I remember back in the days, everyone was like bro-ish, and then everyone became like science-based, and now we go back to a little bit of the bro-ish ways. So are there things you do like since like 10 or 15 years?
I would say, I lean towards the evidence-based approach. That's why I like reading research reviews and whatnot. But at the same time, there's a number of things I'll do that isn't necessarily supported by studies yet. I was just having a discussion with someone yesterday. They were saying about, how your muscle twitch fiber slows down. And it's almost inevitable the longer you train. Anyway, he was questioning about my back, considering all the pull-ups I do, like 2,000 pull-ups every New Year. He was saying, that's not good for your back development. And I'm insisting it's the opposite. I think, my back is the one body part that has actually been maintained, if not improved, even at 51. And it could be because the high volume of pull-ups. And if we do have like slower twitch muscle fibers as we get older or the longer we train, then maybe the 2,000 pull-ups is exactly what I need.
Interesting. So it is I've never really heard about that. Is this a real theory that your fiber types, they switch when you get older?
Yeah. Well, I originally heard it back. I originally read it from Kelly Baguette. Ask Frank Yang about him. He's a big fan. We're both big fans of him. Kelly Baguette.
Baguette, like the French word.
Bageet, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but
But
ask Frank about him.
Okay.
He'll.
Okay. I will ask Frank a lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah, he's a big fan. But
Yeah.
that's where I read it the first time. But supposedly the whole thing's the longer we train for, the now I'm getting mixed up. Is it type 2A that turns to? There's the muscle fibers that's in between, and they're the ones that will slow down.
I guess it's type 2A if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why there's an argument that could be made. For hypertrophy, we actually need to, as we get older, we may actually need to do simply higher reps, and for that reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
there's also someone in the chat asking if you still deadlift and squat at your age.
Actually, I just started again a couple of months ago. But right now, I'm only squatting 85 pounds. Because every disc from L1 to SI is either bulged or herniated. So my back is pretty messed up. But so there was a period like back in 2017, for about 6 months, I couldn't even walk a block. I mean, I would have to stop 3 times just to sit down because my lower back. But that's the worst it got, and that's why I actually lost about significant mass on my left leg because of nerve issues.
Yeah, I kind of realized that on your social media, like in the last 2 years, your physique deteriorated a little bit, right?
Oh, definitely. Like especially the lower body. But I mean, it's funny. Now, I mean, I don't mind. I'm happy that I can train and I can walk. I mean, like your perspective really changes.
Yeah. I agree. I had a shoulder injury a half a year ago or 9 months ago, and I was not able to do like bench presses and like incline bench. And I started to really appreciate working out because I was not able to work out almost my whole upper body for a couple of months, just for a couple of months. And I really started to appreciate the gym. When I went into the gym with a healthy shoulder again, like my whole perspective really shifted. Because when you're young, you're like indestructible. When I look back, I'm 25 right now. When I look back like 5 years ago, I went to the gym, I did stupid shit. I basically destroyed myself every time. Like nothing happened so far. But I guess if you reach a certain stage, you need to be really, really careful and really have a smart routine. Otherwise, you can really wreck yourself.
Yeah, I was like telling that to my nephews. I mean, to one of my nephews who's just turning 21. He's already he's already strong. He's already got a better squat and deadlift than I had at my best. He already squat. I mean, he's already deadlifted. I'm not sure if he did 5 plates, but 475 maybe or whatever. And he's like 150 pounds. And the only thing I've got him on are still the bench press. And I never really worked on deadlifts much, or and my squats for whatever reason, the best squat I ever got was 375 for 2 or 3 reps. But it never really got as high as and now because of lower back, I'd be happy if I can even get back to 225.
Yeah.
Like right now, I don't even plan on using more than 225 for any free weight movement.
Yes. But at the end of the day, also you do like kind of bodybuilding kind of style. You are there for the physique, and I believe you don't need to do squats and deadlifts for an awesome physique.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Me personally also, I was never able to do like a real deadlift, so I always did like Romanian deadlifts. And my hamstrings improved so much because in 5 years I can just do a Romanian deadlifts because of my little handicap I have on my left leg. But my hamstrings look better than the hamstring of most people because I was just like doing Romanian deadlifts all the time. So my biggest argument against normal deadlifts is just for the stimulus you get from doing deadlifts, you accumulate a lot of extra fatigue, and this is like could put you in overreaching really fast.
I actually really agree with you. I I mean, sure, it has its benefits, but I actually think conventional deadlifts are overrated for bodybuilding purposes. You know, I mean,
Yes.
I would, back I think in the 80s and 90s, deadlifts weren't part of the bodybuilding routine. They did stiff-legged deadlifts, or
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I do now. I don't even do conventional or just stiff-legged and Romanian deadlifts.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, Philip, bro, you're a little bit silent. Do you have something to ask?
Yeah, I would like to ask another question from the chat. There are two more. There's one like, looking back, what would you change in your training journey, considering all the injuries you had?
Um, you know what? I understand the question, but there's a part of me I have to respond this way. I'm not sure if I would change anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than happy where I am right now. Injuries, everything. So, I believe in that kind of. If I gave my younger self advice, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or am I
Totally. I agree with you. I would
So,
like to ask.
let me just intersect really quick. Let's say you see a 20-year-old dude, and he asks you, "What would you do in my shoes?" That's perhaps a better question.
um, if depending if their goal was like similar, more hypertrophy rather than,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be focusing on like your one rep max on anything. I don't think it's necessary. I remember maybe 6 years ago, at this gym where I was a trainer. It was a semi-private studio for private trainers, and this one bodybuilder, he was like Mr. Canada, Mr. Mexico, and I asked him how much was this, how much can you bench? And he said he didn't know his one rep max. He never tried it. You know what I mean? And so he was just maybe 1 or 2 years younger than me, and in awesome shape.
Yes. I mean, my argument is also you do a one rep max, and perhaps you could injure yourself, and then you cannot train for like 3 months. So what's the?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, And I would say, just like with flexible dieting, you have to find the training method, and they'll change throughout your training career. You have to find the method that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think that's what I attribute my longevity too.
Yes.
I really do enjoy training.
Yes. I mean, you see that with a lot of young, especially competitive bodybuilders, they go all in for like 4 or 5 years, and then they're just totally wrecked, and they need to stop. It's a good point. Actually, what I want to intersect here is I'm really into like also really into old school bodybuilding, but also new school bodybuilding. And I was talking to a professional bodybuilder once, like a couple of weeks ago, and he was arguing, or he was basically telling me that he thinks Dexter Jackson, for example, is one of the best bodybuilders that ever existed, because I guess he's competing since like 20 or 30 years or something.
Yeah. I think Dexter Jackson's like 49, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's only in the last year or so that he's begun to slip a little. Like, I guess if it's injuries or whatever, like his arms, there was like, different.
Yes.
But still, what? He's been top 5 or top 3 for the last, his longevity.
Yes. Yes. I would really argue like he's one of the best. I mean, you could also argue Dorian Yates was like Mr. Olympia for like 6 times in a row, and now he's injured, but he was basically, or Ronnie Coleman 8 times. But if you look at Ronnie Coleman versus Dexter Jackson, you can argue for both sides at the end of the day.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary on Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah, amazing.
No, the last one.
On Netflix, I saw one a couple of months ago.
Where he's like, he pretty much can't walk.
Yeah, exactly. That's my argument. You can say, yeah, he won Mr. Olympia for like 8 times. He will never be forgotten or for the next century. But now he cannot really walk. And Dexter Jackson on the other side was Mr. Olympia once, but he can still walk and still compete. So you can argue that perhaps Dexter Jackson is perhaps even the better I don't want to talk bad at Ronnie Coleman, of course not. But you can argue for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of when they interviewed like his peers, like Kevin Levrone, Sean Ray, like they were all pretty much saying that it's more of a cautionary tale. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it makes you wonder about Ronnie Coleman, though. I mean, okay, if you look at it, I mean, you can't say Arnold, because with Arnold, it was a different era. Okay, Arnold won 7 times. Okay, but Lee Haney, who also won 8 times.
Yeah.
On his first Mr. Olympia competition, he came in 3rd the year before, right? Dorian Yates, the first time he competed in the Olympia, he came in 2nd, and then he won 6 times in a row. Phil Heath, I think he came in 5th, then he came in 2nd, and then he won, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, Ronnie Coleman, he came in last the first time he competed, I think in 92 or 93. It took him like 2 or 3 years before he broke top 10. And then he goes on to win 8 times. I mean, maybe that's why he got injured. Like, he took it like, he was squatting 800 pounds 6 weeks within of the Olympia. That's when you're at your weakest. So the way he trained, maybe that's what took him to that level where, despite limited what his genetics would have seen, but I guess that's where his genetics allowed him to go. But he had to train hard and heavier than other bodybuilders, I guess. You know what I mean? So he has a lot of my respect, but it was depressing, because he's only like 3 years older than me. And
they know that. Okay, yeah.
I would be depressed as fuck to be in his shoes right now.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I mean, on the one side, I'm really inspired by his story, because he basically gave it all. He let everything on the plate. Like, he gave it all. He did everything he needed to do. and how he's basically injured. But it's kind of an inspiration story still, because he knew, I guess he knew kind of what he did. I mean, he says it in the documentary. So
I don't know, how could anyone know what is going to be the price for it, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was wondering, like, if it's just sort of bravado for the camera, that, you know, he says, like, you know, he wishes he did 2 more reps with 800 pounds.
Yeah, he said it. But then he also said that on the leg press, then after, he did like something like 2,000 pounds or something, and he was like still happy. So
Yeah, but you know, that made me also, like what you asked me about, you know, what I would advise to a 20-year-old. Yeah, to take this time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, rushing things will more or less be a recipe for injury.
Yes.
You know, and yeah, so I mean,
I'm also curious about your opinion, because I'm really into old school bodybuilding. And who had, in your opinion, the best physique of all time? In your subjective opinion.
Oh, like my favorite bodybuilders back then were Frank Zane and Serge Nubret. I mean, actually, it was more for Serge Nubret, because when I saw Pumping Iron, I was actually more blown away by his physique than Arnold's. Like, I know that's blasphemy, but yeah, I mean, and yeah. So he was probably like one of my.
Let me just screen share for the viewers, because a lot of people will not know Serge Nubret. He's a beast. He actually got second in Pumping Iron. Not a lot of people know that. The reason why they didn't show him as much is, as far as I know, he was kind of an actor in his spare time, and he wanted more money for his role. So then they basically almost cut him out.
Oh,
yeah. Because he got second.
I've heard a lot of story like about that. You know, he was saying also that the Weider brothers didn't want. I don't know, like they were screwing him over. I don't know, you know. So.
By the way, can you see that here on the screen?
Yeah.
Can you see that? That's Serge Nubret. Yeah, that's an awesome physique right there.
Yeah. After I saw him, man. My goal was to be the best black bodybuilder I could be.
Good stuff. Also, Frank Zane, you see him also in? It's like the vacuum ports. It's amazing. That's just insane. Yeah, Frank Zane. Let me just. You still see the screen, right, when I talk?
Yeah.
Let me just. I also like Frank Zane, but I'm really impressed by Mohamed Makawi.
Oh. He used to live in Toronto.
No way.
He's like one of the best poser. He is the best poser ever.
Let me go to YouTube. I want to show you that. Yeah. So Mohamed Makawi. Yeah, nerding out in 1983. Dude. Yeah. Let me just. It's a bad quality. Do you hear the sound of the video, by the way?
No.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, definitely. The others that are really good posers were him, Lee Labrada.
Yeah. I have Lee Labrada in 1988. I have a playlist with my favorite posing routines. This one. It's just way more old school than now.
Who else is up there?
It's just amazing. Let me show you. Do you know Bob Paris, right?
Yeah.
1988. He's like one of my favorites. Not this one. This one here. It's just like full passion in the posing. Or here. It's almost dancing.
Yeah, so yeah, you have who else is up there? Sean Ray is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I need to stop screen share. Good. Yes. Yeah, Flex Wheeler, right? Sean Ray, Kevin Levrone from back in the days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to nerd out about that stuff because I'm not a lot of people know that, but in my free time, I'm a huge like old school bodybuilding fan. It's.
Are you familiar with Rory Littlemeyer?
We actually had a picture of him in our gym, a black and white picture of him. Yeah, a huge picture, but it got like somebody threw it away.
Oh, I mean, I got to train with him last summer.
Oh.
And he's like 63 now.
Dude.
And he's huge.
Dude.
You know, I mean.
Let me Google that. Rory Littlemeyer.
Yeah.
Yes. Perhaps I even find the picture of him from the gym.
He never became pro because Bob Paris beat him. He came in second to Bob Paris.
Makes sense if you look at Bob Paris.
But if you see this guy too, I mean.
You see the picture, right? This one.
Yeah.
And this is him now, I guess. Or
yeah.
Dude. That's what I'm talking about. These physiques on the pictures, they don't look as big as in real life. What's in real life, he looks bigger. Dude. That's art. Some people would watch that podcast and think like, dude, man, what are you're watching like guys in underpants posing, or dude,
Okay,
that's art.
Just put up some Pornhub.
Yeah. to like even it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Type in hot brunette double penetration or something.
Then my channel will get banned.
Is this your favorite genre of porn?
No comment. Yeah.
To be honest now, I'm serious. I stopped watching porn in 2014. I'm not joking. I did the whole no porn thing, and I did it till today. I don't know if something is wrong with me or I'm just have a lot of willpower. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying this like? Are you proud of that? I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I had a girlfriend since then, or a couple of girlfriends, but yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't look at porn for the purpose of like masturbating, let's say like that. Sometimes like your friend sends you a link and you click on the link, you know. But yeah. So Philip, do you have another question now? Because I will go to the toilet really quick.
Sure. I have a question about not so fitness related, more about your stories. You did some really cool Q&As on Instagram, and I really.
Sorry, the train was by. Can you repeat that?
You did. Do you still them? Because you did some really cool Q&As on Instagram in your Instagram story. Do you still do them? And is it just my Instagram which doesn't show them sometimes because of the algorithm, or did you tone back a little bit with the Q&As?
I did. You mean when I go live? Yeah,
the
I
live,
cut back
exactly.
a little because I cut back on smoking. I can only, as you can tell now, I can only do like even podcasts or anything if I'm a little big. But yeah,
I do understand. But I really enjoyed them. They were so funny, and your answers always like I watch them and I was like, this dude is, I love this dude, man.
Thank you.
So funny. So you tone back on smoking.
Yeah.
So you don't smoke every day now. No.
I cut back to smoking maybe 3-4 days per week.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want it to be, when you're smoking every day, it almost becomes like a medicinal thing. I want it to be recreational, like just, yeah, whenever I'm just chilling.
I don't understand.
I wanted to ask you something specific because I guess a lot of people ask you about like working out, ask you almost the same questions all the time. So I saw an Instagram post of yours where you also talked about your depression. Like it was the time when I asked you for the podcast, and you were talking about what you were listening in your car lately, and you talked about a lot of books I've also read. So it would be cool if we could go a little bit.
Yeah, I still deal with depression. I was dealing with depression in my late 20s, and I was on antidepressants for a while, but then I got off it, and for 20 years I thought, for 20 years I thought that was something in the past, and then maybe 2-3 years ago it started affecting me again, and some say it could have been caused because of the my lower back issues, but last year, actually, I got committed to the hospital by my parents. They called 911 because I was in a bad place, and so I had to spend a few days in the hospital, and yeah, since then, I mean, it's up and down, but yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks more than music.
Yeah, same.
Something that's actually resonated with me recently is Viktor Frankl.
Oh, my man. I even have it here somewhere, I guess. Here, I have it, right? This one. That's like the original version in the German.
Wow.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite books. You're so right.
I listened to that maybe 6 times in like 2 weeks. I was trying to listen to it while on the road trip with my sister and her kids, but then my sister told me to change it because it was depressing. Because he's talking about the concentration camp. But yeah, it really resonated with me, about finding that meaning.
Yes. It's a good point because I recommend that book almost to everyone. But sometimes when I recommend it, people are like, I don't want to read that. It sounds so depressing. But actually what it did for me is also it really changed my whole perspective on things. Because in his book, it talks especially about if you can find a meaning in your own suffering, you can bear almost every suffering, which is really cool.
Yeah, and even, call it the whole toxic masculinity, but I liked how he said, you're something along as your tears are like a testament to that you've been suffering.
Yeah.
So
I remember the quote I posted it on Instagram like 4 years ago. I guess he says something like, a man doesn't need to be ashamed of his tears because it's like a sign that you had the courage to suffer.
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's huge.
Yeah, so I've been listening to that a lot. Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism.
That's a bit. I want to get his tattoo. One of his quotes is a tattoo. It's so good.
Seneca,
yeah. Wait, it's also, is it here? It's here also in German. And we have like Seneca here also. It's in German.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I'm all over that stuff. Epictetus also. I guess you know him as well.
Actually, I was listening to that today.
Oh, good.
There's someone. Oh, and I've been really into Alan Watts.
Wait, this guy here.
Fuck. All right, dude. I'm smoking this just because this is for you, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But I need to be honest. I have like a 100 bookshelf right beside me, so I have like my spirituality and philosophy section on my right. But
and yet, despite all this wisdom, you don't go to Pornhub.
Exactly. I have no time to go to Pornhub. I need to read. My Pornhub is Marcus Aurelius. That's why. But I, I totally agree with you, because when I had this awakening when I was like 20 or 21 something, when I realized, oh, there are people out there that are more smart than me, and they basically paid someone else to help them to write a book and to put their best ideas in a book to help me to have a better life. As soon as I realized that, I was like, dude, I need to read more. I need to read every book that is out there. And I had like this crazy journey. Like in 2 years, I've read like tons and tons and tons of books. I mean, Philip Kane is a witness of that. And I just became a walking dictionary because I wanted to know what these guys know. And I mean, reading Marcus Aurelius, Viktor Frankl, and Alan Watts, it's the best thing you can do at every age. It's
So even the last 2 years, when I smoke, my favorite used to be, I'd be playing air guitar to Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or whatever. And now it's evolved. Like one of my favorite pastimes, like if I've smoked a bowl or whatever, is to listen to Alan Watts.
Yeah.
I'm always like, when I'm listening to him, I'm like, whoa. But yeah, I mean.
But he was an alcoholic, right? Funny enough.
Yeah, he died pretty young, also, right?
Yeah. Have you read? I saw in your Instagram story. I haven't read him so far. Krishnamurti, or what is he called?
Krishnamurti. Yeah. I've been. It's funny. My roommate from like 20 years ago, he used to always like recommend Krishnamurti back then. So it's interesting. But have you read any of his books?
Not yet.
But yeah, so him. There's someone else that my favorite of like modern ones is I like Sam Harris. Do you listen to him?
I've listened to on his first book. What is it called? Waking Up.
Yeah.
But I listened to it at a stage where I was not really aware, because sometimes you listen to books and you can get nothing out of them. You're like, I don't understand it. So right now I'm really into like going into it again. But I listened it 2 years ago. I wasn't really open for his message.
Yeah. There was no, but it's just interesting what you just said, because I forgot who was saying it, but even our favorite books, you should like reread them every 10 years, and you're gonna get something different each time.
Yes.
Depending on where you are in life. Like
yes. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah. Sorry?
One of my favorite authors is Herman Hesse.
Wait, I have it somewhere. I know, but I don't know where. Siddhartha, right?
Siddhartha, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah.
Damon, Goldman, and Art.
Yeah, I've just read Siddhartha, but it's also it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, and it was actually, but his book Steppenwolf, that used to be like one of my favorite books.
What is it about? I don't remember. I never read it. I guess I didn't read it so far.
Uh, it's sort of that's a good question. What is it about? Like, I mean, it's about the main character is Harry Heller, which is I think for Herman Hesse himself. I don't know. It was my favorite book when I just broke up with like my ex-girlfriend. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, the fact that he was mysterious, alone, and difficult to understand, the main character, I guess that resonated with me at the time.
Yeah, totally. It's funny for me the same. Like when I had my first crush on a girl, she didn't want to date me, and then I was so mad. I knew about Eckhart Tolle, Tony Robbins, but I didn't want to read them. And then she ditched me for her ex-boyfriend, and I was so mad. I ordered like Eckhart Tolle, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, and it basically changed my life. So I'm so grateful for that. Otherwise, I perhaps wouldn't have read Tony Robbins or Eckhart Tolle. And this really opened my brain.
Have you ever read William James?
Is it the psychologist?
Yes.
I studied psychology back in the day. I've heard about him, but I haven't read him so far.
He was pretty much, in many ways, I thought, like, reading a lot of his stuff, he was almost like the Tony Robbins of the 19th century, you know what I mean? Like, very much about,
yeah. I guess it goes into the realm of like Carl Jung as well.
Oh, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Carl Jung.
Yeah. He's actually Swiss, funny enough.
Oh, I thought he was German.
No, he's Swiss. He's like Swiss quality. He's like the pinnacle of quality.
Okay, wait. No, Vienna. Wait. Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung. There's like three.
I have also a book here by, what was it? I have not read it. I need to check what. You mean the three philosophers, psychologists, right?
Yeah, all from the same.
Sigmund Freud is German. Carl Jung is Swiss, but I mean it's almost the same. Austria and Switzerland.
Yeah.
But Viktor Frankl is from Austria.
Okay. No,
Viktor
but
Frankl.
someone else.
Adler, yeah, I have it here. Wait. I haven't read it. Oh no, sorry, that's Wilhelm Reich. It's not Adler. Damn.
Okay.
Almost got the 5 in a row. But I have the Dao De Jing here, so might use that later. Yeah, Adler. So, what are your favorite books? I asked that to all of my guests. What are your 3 favorite books, or even more? You mentioned some of them already. It's getting deep.
Well, right now, I mean, Viktor Frankl, if I can count that, it's weird. So different. The Fountainhead.
Oh, Ayn Rand, yeah.
Ayn Rand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like any of her other books. I read like a couple of her books. I didn't like any of them, but
Atlas Shrugged, was it the film?
The one book, and I've read that maybe a dozen times. Like I'll keep rereading it.
Mm.
The Fountainhead.
That's a good one. I need to read it. I have it in my bookshelf right there, but I've never read it. It's too big. I'm kind of afraid. I'm like, oh, dude.
I've tried to reread it, but I haven't. I've only read it once. The Brothers Karamazov.
I wanted to buy it. I haven't bought it yet. It's by Dostoevsky.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 pages or whatever.
Yeah. Quick read.
I'm a huge comic book geek.
Okay.
And it was from one comic book, like 2 characters were talking about the best novel they ever read was The Brothers Karamazov. And so I took that as, wow, okay, I have to read this. And I read it, yeah. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Have you read Crime and Punishment?
I couldn't finish it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I've read Note from the Underground,
Mm-hmm.
but Crime and Punishment, maybe I should try again. Like it was like maybe 20 years ago when I tried to read it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Viktor Frankl, Ayn Rand's Fountainhead,
The brothers
Brothers
Karamazov.
Karamazov.
Dostoevsky.
I also, you know what? One thing I've read not quite as many times as The Fountainhead, and I first read it in high school, was The Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I probably mentioned it before. I'm not sure, but there's a part. Have you read it?
Not yet. I know which one you mean. I have seen the movie, but I haven't read it so far.
Okay, there's a part in the book at the end where he meets the father, and the father shows him that Jay Gatsby has always been trying to improve his life. You know, he had a schedule where, you know, and this is like written in the 20s, right? So something, I think, exercise or weight, he puts time aside for that. And that made me make my first schedule, you know, about like when I'll be working out or everything.
Right, right,
Yeah.
good stuff. To be honest, it's a novel, right? The Great Gatsby.
Pardon?
It's a novel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because to be honest, I talked also with Frank about it. Me and Frank, we have some issues sometimes reading novels, but I really want to get into it because it's like another type of reading. You need to use your imagination a little bit more. So I have a lot of books on my list, like these old school books, like The Great Gatsby, Moby Dick, and these old books I really want to go into, but I haven't read them yet so far.
Well, do you listen to Jordan Peterson?
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, he talks about, like in a lot of his things, about, you know, the power of stories, right? Whether biblical or whatnot. Like he talks about Pinocchio a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Moby Dick as well, right? Going to the belly of the whale.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's similar to like Joseph Campbell's books almost.
I've been meaning, that's something else I wanted to read actually.
Joseph Campbell?
Yeah, the power, is it The Power of Myth or whatever?
Wait, let me just check. I have it here somewhere. I don't know where. Damn, I'm failing. Yeah, it's somewhere there. The Power of Myth, one of my also all-time favorite books. Somewhere here.
Can you turn the camera? I want to see like how your book.
Oh, dude. Yeah, sure. So that's one. Can I? That's a huge. You cannot really see them, to be honest. Wait.
Yeah, no, dude.
And here's also one. Another one. And back there is also another one, but you cannot really see it back there. Yeah, it's. I have like 300 books in my room right now. I don't have any space, so I bought a Kindle. I bought like a Kindle to travel, so perhaps I have like 400 or something.
Do you think, you know, I mean, wait, how old are you?
What do you think?
You said 25?
25, yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 28.
28?
28, yeah.
Do you think, like, in the, like, this generation, like, that there's more interest in philosophy again, or what?
I would say the thing with social media is if you have already an interest for philosophy, it's easier to get more into it, I would say. So the how do you say that, the difference between people that are not into philosophy and people that are into philosophy is way bigger than back in the days. You know what I mean? The extremes are way bigger. So if you are into that stuff, it's really easy to find people that are also into it, and you can really lose yourself. You know what I mean? So I guess because of social media, there are a lot of young people that are really into philosophy, but even more young people that are like really like into other stuff that doesn't serve them that well, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna have a pretty good conversation with Frank Yang.
Oh yes, 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 for sure, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, just don't smoke.
No, I won't. I won't. I promise. So we are already over 1 hour in. I would say this was just like, yeah, it was really nice meeting you like almost in person. Do you have something else to tell the listeners before we end that podcast?
Uh,
Don't smoke.
Probably not. Not right now.
Not right now. Cool, cool.
But thank you for the opportunity.
No worries. Thanks for your time. If me and Philip are ever in Toronto, we make sure to get a workout in, man. It was so cool.
Definitely.
Totally.
Do you have an own gym, by the way, or
Pardon?
do you have an own gym?
No, not anymore. I did when I was still personal training, but yeah, not anymore.
Cool, cool. Also, my last question: do you have recommendations for the next podcast guest? I'm curious.
Eric Helms or Dan John?
I asked him yesterday, Eric Helms, actually.
Oh, okay.
He's down. He's down.
Another one's Dan John.
Dan John, okay. Dan. So John, John?
Yes.
Is he like a researcher or something?
He's like I've been reading his articles since like 2005. He's a strength coach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He used to be a discus thrower and hurdler, and I think the Highland Games he won.
Okay, interesting.
So he's not a bodybuilder, but a lot of information from him.
Good. And also, where can people find you on social media?
Yep. Timbahwolf.
Timbahwolf.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you ever come to Central Europe, we live in Switzerland. You're always welcome. We live in the capital. If you want to see that, don't hesitate.
I just may.
You may.
Yeah, I've been more like last year. I went to Rome and Lisbon, and I was thinking of going to. Europe is where I want to explore the most.
Yes.
You know,
Nice.
So if you want to see mountains, lakes, chocolate, watches, dude, hit us up on social media, and you're kindly invited. We have a place for you, everything, gym.
Definitely.
No worries.
Thanks again.
No worries. Philip, you have something to add before we stop?
I just want to thank you for this amazing podcast. I really had a great time listening to you. It was really, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you want, you can just leave the podcast, and me and Philip are going to wrap it up. I will also send you the link of the podcast as soon as it's online.
All right. Have a great
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you so much. See you, man.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff, bro.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This was...
So we are still live. Do you have something to add here at the end of the podcast before you wrap it up?
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What should I say?
Kind of mind.
I was actually I really knew he's a deep guy, but I was surprised he's so much into books. I didn't know that about him. I was really like, wow, this dude really knows.
That's the reason why I always tell you, bro, read books, read good books. You know, it's always good. Like if you have someone that also reads, you have great conversations.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, thank you, or basically thanks, Philip, for being here, and thanks for everybody that was online with us. Thanks to everybody watching. Make sure to check the links in the description below. Also, let me know if you want to see someone specific on the podcast. Just let me know in the comments below. And then we will have also fun the next time. I guess next time perhaps Eric Helms or Frank Yang will be here. So yeah, we got also like one last message in the chat. Thank you guys for an interesting talk. Here's a short, powerful book I highly recommend. William George Jordan, The Majesty of Calmness. Sounds good.
I haven't read it, but sounds good, yeah.
bro, you have so many books to read after that podcast.
Oh yeah,
So we'll
my,
send
my
you.
Goodreads is like
Awesome.
full of books. Not as full as yours, but
Soon.
I want to read this long.
Good. So I guess you will be back when we have Frank on, I would say next week or something.
Totally. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for having me, Charles.
No worries, bro. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time, guys. And I will see you on the next podcast. Cheers.